Well, should we outro?
I have a request first.
Okay.
Can we intro again so I can have two distinct separate intros when I make this into 2 episodes?
That's a great idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
5, 4, 3, 2. Hi, everyone. Welcome to TransSpotting. This is part 2 of our conversation series. My name is Marsha. I'm joined with here by my host, Celeste.
Hi.
And Riv.
Hi.
And a goblin.
Hi.
Now, back to our regularly scheduled episode.
Help me!
I love it.
I'm being silly. Ash is concerned about me. I'm just being silly. I love you. They're so sweet to me.
How funny.
It's true. It's true. I've been thinking about critical thinking lately and how it's kind of a lost art. And because critical thinking is like the ability to be critical of things that people tell you to think. And it's really easy to just turn on, our phones or something and be able to consume content and not think critically of it because you'll just be like, oh, yeah, that's true, and just move on. When a lot of times they're, completely... There's reasons to be skeptical of the things that they're saying. And I think we need to get more people learn how to do that well.
So I will say in the South, it's the same problem of where people don't know how to critically think, but it comes out in a very different way. It comes out in the way of they have found a thing that they thought they have critically thought about, and this is it. And then they refuse to critically think about anything that differs ever from that idea.
And that's not critical thinking. Critical thinking is being able to be skeptical of new claims and also skeptical of your own claims. Skeptical of your own beliefs. Because if you're found to be in error, you'd want to be right rather than stubborn.
Yeah. And that sounds simple, but I think in a way we all even struggle with that. Like that's a thing that's difficult for everybody, no matter where your stance is on any subject, because we all think that we're at least close to right. Like, otherwise we wouldn't think that that's the truth.
Unless you're somebody like Socrates, who's like, the only thing I know is that I don't know anything. That makes me smarter than everyone.
Same. Except for the smarter than... I think that makes me dumber than everyone.
It sells bimbo era.
Always and forever, baby.
The only thing I know is that I don't know anything, and therefore I don't know anything. That's a good way to
Don't make me know things.
You mean Socrates.
Things.
That guy named Socrates.
Yeah. Socrates is great. Philosopher. I'm pretty sure they didn't say that in the Bill and Ted movie.
No, they didn't.
It would fit right in, though.
It would.
Who wants to write a Bill and Ted sequel with me?
I don't.
Okay, Riv and I will.
I used to want to be an author. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an author, specifically of sci-fi.
Yeah.
So this fits right in.
What would your sci-fi books be about?
Oh, I wrote a couple of short stories and I entered into some contests back in the day. They're all about aliens.
Nice.
Coming and being like, these humans are pretty much assholes. I was undiagnosed autistic at the time. So, kind of identified more with the aliens than with the humans, but, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I probably would focus a lot more on alternate timelines, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I was really interested in speculative history. Like Isaac Asimov's Foundation series was really foundational for me.
A good one.
I
see what you did there.
What? What did I do?
Nothing.
I'm not rewarding you by telling you.
Okay, good. Anyway,
I gotta drink more of my gender fluid. Hold on a second.
I would really like to write books like that kind of have that speculative, if this is the future, how do we make it better? Like that Star Trek future. I think that we need more science fiction that has hope to it. I feel like we as a society are starting to lose our ability to dream. And I think that that's reflected in the kind of media that has been produced by this.
Can you extrapolate on that idea?
Sign. Okay, so when you think about what the themes of a lot of old sci-fi, let's take Star Trek as an example. The themes are very much, we're going to progress as a human species. We're going to go and explore the stars. And then as we explore the stars, we will we'll figure out the things that we are doing wrong and we'll do better with it. We'll live in a post-scarcity economy. We won't have to be ruled by money. Everybody will be taken care of, but people will still work because at their basic core, people are industrious, creative explorers, and they like to get out there and do things and build things. And so let's build this future where all of humanity can thrive. And what does that look like? And let's imagine that. And now a lot of the science fiction that's popular is, things like horror, which I love, things like post-apocalyptic wasteland, which is very, very popular. Things like young adult fiction like Divergent and The Hunger Games, very much about living in this oppressive class system and trying to rebel against it, but ultimately, most of the time, they don't overthrow the system that set up those things in the first place. They just struggle against it for a while, and then maybe a change happens sometimes. And I feel like we were kind of lost that ability to dream and ability to be what could we be? And there's so much anxiety about the future, anxiety with global warming, and anxiety with the news, and anxiety about politics, and anxiety just everywhere. And I think a big part of that is, well, we've kind of let ourselves be taken over by, mass conglomerations of social media, and that drives our attention and that drives what we think about. And then I also think we're going to see this problem with iterations on an idea. And this is what my big problem with AI isn't that it's going to destroy jobs or whatever, but it's that anything that comes out of AI will have been something that isn't dreamed, if that makes sense. It kind of kills creativity because it only takes the creativity of other people and remixes it. And the great creative works are the ones that are not remixes. I mean, they are variations on a theme, as everything is, but they start to say something new. And AI can never say something new. Something that's made by a corporation can never be something new. AI and corporations are just the same thing, but in different forms. This is why somebody who works in middle management in a corporation, as you were talking about earlier, is more of a cog in a machine than it is a human being who gets to do work and things. And I just think everybody is noticing that, and everybody's tired of living under that. And I think that you see this, our dreams and our stories that we say start to become more nightmarish and frustrated as a reflection of the way that we feel we are right now. So that's kind of what I mean by I feel like society has lost its ability to dream. Everybody's kind of focused on the short term and focused on what's in front of their face, and there isn't much hope for the future, and we don't see that in the stories that we're telling each other. And so if any of you are authors and you'd like to make a story that has some hope, I will read it.
That's fascinating. I really have never really thought about how, at least not in a broad sense, how specifically sci-fi is a good measure of what culture thinks of as the future. I'm not a sci-fi person in general. There are sci-fi things I enjoy, but that's not my go-to form. But I know personally my favorite sci-fi story is the Mass Effect series, the video game series, because it very much follows what you were talking about. Just it's a very hopeful look out. There's scary things in the distance, but there's a lot of humanity and goodness and overcoming those struggles.
Mass Effect is so good too, because
it's so good.
It's humanity reaching out and then learning how to interact with other species too,
and
which is fantastic.
Doing their best to do it, and
still flawed, but doing their best.
Yeah.
It's
And
fantastic.
so, yeah, I love that lens, that idea, because, like, as I talked about earlier, I'm a big lover of horror movies. I think horror is also a really good pulse check of where people at. And despite it being more dramatized usually than any other, like, type of media being told, I think it is the most honest form of media being told. The dramatization is meant to draw on all of our own personal fears, all of these larger fears that go on, and personify them into very real things. So, yes, that's such a cool outlook. I guess because I'm not a sci-fi person, I'm sure sci-fi people are like, "Oh yeah, obviously that's what sci-fi is," but that's just because that's not my thing. I hadn't thought
Yeah.
about that. That's cool.
I think you can see. Go ahead, Riv.
I want to soapbox so badly and build off of what you're saying,
Well, we've
Marcia.
just had two
But I don't want
soapboxes
to.
in a
I
row,
don't.
so get on
Yeah.
it.
I
Get
know.
on that
Well,
soapbox.
I don't want to cut you off if you have additional thoughts before I talk at people forever.
I won't lose it.
Okay. I feel like so. Yes, absolutely. We're in this place where we have these stories that are frustrated, and they're about where we're at right now, and they're about um, post apocalyptic worlds or ongoing apocalypses, which because we're kind of living in that daily right now in a lot of different ways, whether it's political or climate or anything, and or a lack of treating people like humans in a variety of ways. But I feel like the beginning of having hope is calling that shit out and having those types of stories to kind of build off of. And I feel like that's kind of a way to get people mad and people thinking and understanding like this is the world we're currently in. This is what it could be if we don't fix shit. And while I too really miss having stuff like Star Trek where it's like we could have this society if we just tried, if we had like UBI, if we had, if we broke down borders between countries and we actually tried to understand each other and we, all of this stuff. I really miss that as well. And I think that we're not going to be able to get there until we go through this kind of stage of angst and processing where we're currently at because it's still not changing yet. And a lot of stuff needs to change in real life to get there. Another big facet of that is that, like you're saying, who's in charge of greenlighting all of these projects, these mainstream works? Well, it's all about the money, baby. Just follow the money, and it's all corporate. Netflix is now, is this huge corporate behemoth. Disney, obviously. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Disney. But we've got all of these wonderful creators that are being either squashed or the algorithms dropping because they're not making the money, even though they're writing the stories and they're making the content. And it's so hard to find them and support them. And so if you see people of color creators, you see queer content, you see anyone making stuff outside of the mainstream, you see indie films and indie songs and novels, go and support them because it's so hard to find wonderful things like that in these people that make these wonderful works that are not corporations, and we need to support them with our money and our support if we can, instead of just trudging along and being force-fed all of the same bullshit and the same franchises over and over again, recycled. Cool.
Excuse me, I should have muted myself. 100%.
Okay. That's a good reaction to my soapbox.
I agree 100%. And I want to say, like, that corporate feel, and this is what I was going to talk about earlier, it extends to things like outside of sci-fi, too. Like, you take the Barbie movie from this summer as example. That is a very good example of a movie that is very creative and ambitious with the story that it tells, but it still keeps it very much within the lanes of the corporate world. You have that patriarchy in the real world, and then in the Barbie land, you have like this opposite that's the matriarchy, but it's really just the same thing, just mirrored. It doesn't dream up something better, and it doesn't try to, because that corporate world is the status quo that they want to keep. And they don't want people to know that there are options outside of that, and that there have been options outside of that for years, but they've, don't let people know about that. You're not allowed to dream
It's
in
a very
those
good
movies.
example.
Yeah. Still a great
Yeah.
movie. I still very much enjoyed it, but you definitely see those corporate fingerprints on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the very last scene, though, where she was like walking up to see her gynecologist for the first time, like that's gonna be me so soon. I have to schedule that finally. I was supposed to like 3 months after I had surgery, but I've been putting it off because I'm so scared. But I have to walk in there and be like,
Are you excited?
"Hi." No. I was asking my friend about it the other day, my friend at work, and I was like, "All right, tell me about like the probe, about the wand. How big is it? How uncomfortable is it?" And she was like, "It's not that big, but it's bigger than you want." And I was like, "Okay, so it's like my current dilator." She's like, "Yeah, probably."
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like every dilator is going to be that size.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look what you've got to look forward to, Celeste.
I know. I'm actually like, so my doctor doesn't provide dilators. I actually I have to buy my own. And I was like literally looking at that website before we started recording. That was what I was doing because shit's expensive. Like the 4-pack of Soul Source is like $240. So like, anyone want to like send me some money? Help me out.
We should set up a
If only I
GoFundMe
could
for
give you the ones I don't
Celeste's
use
dilators.
anymore. Yeah. I'm just sending you the ones I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
Pay as you go.
Pay as you go. Send me one dilator at a time. Subscription, monthly service.
What we really just need is
Yeah.
like a dilator rental service.
There we go.
I don't know if I want to use other people's dilators.
This dilator's been through 3 vaginas. It's proven its worth. Don't worry, it's been washed.
I would rather pay $240 to have my own unused dilators.
Well, there you go. That's why they're expensive.
Thank you, Marcia. God.
Oh my god.
Whew.
It's a perfectly good one, I swear.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Okay, so for those listeners at home who are not part of our Discord server, if you had been part of the Discord server, you could have been part of our little group chat we had the other night, where we talked about bottom surgery stuff, and a couple of us gals, a couple of us gal phase even shared our different types of dilators, because not all of them are made the same. Yeah, there's a standard, but like I have like proprietary ones that have like tapers
Yours are
in
clear
between.
and like really pretty.
Mine are clear and like plexiglass and stuff.
Well, that's cool.
And, yeah,
I missed this conversation. I didn't see those pictures. I'll have to scroll back.
Yeah. Well, it was a video chat.
It was a video call.
Yeah. You missed it. We didn't at you about it was in the surgery channel. Yeah, there's a surgery channel in our Discord server. Get in our Discord server, everyone. But yeah, the things you discover of people's experiences are not the same.
Yeah. And that's like one of the scariest parts for me. If it was like a very set idea of what I had to deal with, even if I knew it was going to be like the most difficult end of that line, it's like, oh, I can set my expectations. But there's such a wide gap of how this can go and feel. It's like, I don't really know what to expect. So I'm kind of expecting it to be like really difficult. And if it's better than that, fuck yeah.
Is there anything you want to talk about since we're leading up to your surgery pretty soon?
I don't even know what there is to talk about. And I guess that's like my biggest worry is like, even though I've had the consultations, I've read hundreds of hours of
Yeah.
other people's experiences on the internet, and just like, it's like, oh, what if there is something that I don't know to expect? Or like I miss something, or like something that's going to be my fault because I have misunderstood, or blah, 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 blah. That's always my worry.
Get ready to pee all over yourself for a little bit.
Yep, I am. I'm expecting.
Yep. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
gonna do great.
Lots of lube.
Yeah. Lots of lube.
I have a Steam Deck, so I'm going to be playing a lot of video games.
Nice.
There you go.
I'll be watching lots of TV shows. I plan on binging House while I'm recovering, so, you know.
I feel like House is one of those shows I've seen 3 times just because people in my life keep watching it, and I've never put it on myself.
It's something I watched
show.
back in college, and I like it was like on and off.
It
so
sounds like you'll be well prepared for your
time.
surgery. Yeah.
I have shit to do. Like, I'm not afraid of not having enough things to do. I'm going to download just a fuck ton of horror movies that I can binge through. I've got a massive backlog of, like, I think, like 500 movies on my Letterboxd.
Nice.
So.
Yes.
You're not going to get through all of those.
No. But, like,
yeah,
I can work through them.
You can.
Yeah. Whatever you do,
you should have a lot of recs.
Don't push getting out of bed.
Have a lot of recs for next episode.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yes.
We'll do a podcast from Celeste's bedroom.
That would be fun.
In bed.
Celeste from the recovery bed. Tell us how you're doing. Oh, I'm not feeling that great. That's great. Let's keep talking.
That's good.
Right? Like y'all
I've
saw
got
my
a dilator in me right now.
Right now.
Okay, well, just don't let it bother you while we're recording the podcast, okay?
Yeah, I don't want to hear any background noise about that. That's squelching.
Oh, God.
It's fine. I use a noise gate whenever I edit, so it's going to be fine.
I'm not, just so everyone knows, I'm not actually going to do that. I'm making jokes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
I was so excited.
If you all want that kind of thing, you're going to have to pay me a lot of money to do that.
Ooh, I need to tell you one thing about dilating. I'm going to tell you, whatever you do, it's going to happen now that I'm going to say it. Try really hard not to sneeze while you're dilating.
This is what I've heard.
I heard it from one girl, and she's like, yeah, if you sneeze while you're dilating, you don't like hold it inside of you, it'll shoot out and hit the wall. So I was like, cool, I have to sneeze. It's happening finally. And I held it inside of me, and instead all of my muscles clenched, and it hurt like nothing I've ever felt in my life because it just clenched around it. And so let it shoot out. Just let it happen.
Shoot out, okay.
Let it shoot out. Yeah, don't be a hero. Just let it shoot out of you.
Nothing like rocket dilators.
This just is horrifying to me. Oh my god. Oh my
god. We're gonna have some trigger warnings before this episode. Oh Lord.
Just picturing it ricocheting off the wall like 3 times, like a gun in a western.
They're not bouncy though. They're hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard.
That's
they
how much
force
hard plastic.
Yeah, it would honestly, the amount of force I felt grip around it when I was sneezing, it probably would have been better than the drywall.
I believe it.
It's that rocket powered
TMI,
pussy right there.
Oh God.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
I'm so proud. Well, now I know that I've got a healthy pelvic floor. So yeah, I am proud of myself. Thank you.
Yeah. You should be. I would be proud of me if I were you too.
Yeah, you're welcome, Celeste. For that, I impart my wisdom unto you and to all of our listeners.
Sneezing is scary.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Just do the thing when you grab the bridge of your nose and you don't sneeze.
No, I hate that. If I have to sneeze, I want to
Yeah.
sneeze.
Yeah, same.
We're not holding that back. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Well, get it out.
Let it fly.
You'd
Let
better
it fly.
not sneeze, though, because if it flies out as you're sneezing and you're still dilating, it could rip something down there. So it's probably a better idea to hold it in.
Well,
you
might
lube
just
it up
try to
real good.
pull it out. Just
Yeah.
I feel it coming. Pull
There
it
you
out.
go. There you go.
That's what you should do.
That's what you do. Okay, that makes sense.
I should have done that. I didn't. I was worried I wouldn't hold my sneeze until I got to the very end, and even then I would still
I feel like laughing while that's in there is gonna hurt too, though. So maybe not.
A little bit.
It
depends.
God, we're a mess. Why do people listen to us?
And with that,
We don't have that many listeners.
There are still people. There are still people.
it's because
There
we're
are still
charming.
people who pay to listen to us.
We're
They
charming.
pay to listen to us. God.
That's
I'm
because they're
sorry
nice.
and thank you.
Yeah, right.
They're good people.
They are good people.
You're all
I
angels.
appreciate you.
And on
We
that
do.
note, an insult of ourselves and our listeners. No.
Oh my god.
Let's make everybody feel bad. Let's go.
And that's how we can end the show. Lovely.
Oh.
Play the outro music.
I love it.
Da, da, da.
Hey, I did that pretty well.
You did. You
You
did really
did.
good. I'm actually very impressed.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Even though my normal voice is kind of I don't try to go too high with it. I can get there if I want to. I can mimic people really well. That's how I got
love
this
it.
voice in the first place.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Doing dumb impressions has been one of my favorite things about voice training because you just get better at
Yeah.
it. And it's so fun.
My
So
favorite
fun.
is doing a Southern Belle kind of accent. It's really
Mhm.
fun. I'm not doing it right now because I will fuck it up.
Yep.
I feel like I've
Mic
lost
pressure.
a lot of my funny voices and accents after voice training.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I used to do so many silly ones, but they were all in a certain range that I was used to using.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I try to do it, it's just not the same. It's
It atrophies.
no, it's not that the voice is gone. It's that if I'm trying to do it in a higher pitched voice like I would normally speak, it's the accent isn't there. The way that my mouth had trained to be able to do a pretend German accent or something. It doesn't seem to work the same. And it's
Interesting.
they still are there, but they're just not as good as I feel like they used to be. So I'll just have to practice some more.
Interesting.
Maybe your reference material needs to change a little bit. So
Yeah,
you can try
that
to
too.
try to get that. Yeah.
Because people's accents, male and female accents, sound fairly different. So they pronounce things
Very
differently.
different.
At least we do in English. So then you have to relearn it for all the other accents too.
I hadn't really thought about it that way. Interesting.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of voice training is finding out where to put the emphasis on things, which definitely changes. Feminine mannerisms tend to put an accent when go up in pitch when they're putting an accent on something, or they're
Feminine accents also use a lot of vocal
emphasizing
fry.
something. They do, yeah, yeah. Guilty.
Yeah.
I like the vocal fry because it can make it sound like my voice is fraying a lot higher than it actually does fray. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The first year of my voice training, because I had a voice coach for maybe 3 months, and I was like, "This is horrible. I'm firing you," because she was mean.
Mm-hmm.
First year of self voice training was just 100% vocal fry. That's all it was. Hey, we got there
We did.
eventually.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thanks.
You
Proud
did.
of you.
You did that, bitch.
You did that, bitch.
That was more aggressive, a lot more aggressive than I intended it to.
Bitch, you did that.
Bitch, you did that. That's better.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be a comma there, and it just didn't show up in what I said.
I love how you can
Y'all are
hear
great.
punctuation sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you, either of you, let's see. Yeah, you have a big thing coming up, Celeste. Riv, do you have any big goals you're working on right now?
Ooh. Transition related. I really want to try to be done with all of my electrolysis by the end of this year.
That would be nice.
Hopefully I can get to that point, because I think that once I get past like the upper lip, it won't be so stubborn, and then it won't keep coming back. Because they're like, what they don't tell you, there are follicles hiding behind the follicles, and they just keep coming sometimes. And if you have a father like I do, and a sister who also had to get electrolysis on her upper lip, you're kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I'm gonna get that done.
Follicles all the way down.
Follicles all the way down to my very soul. Other stuff I want to try to get done. I really want to. I'm trying to get a 5-song EP done, and I wanted to get it done last year, but was not in the cards. I want to get it done this year, and I want it to have vocals. And so I am still kind of training a little bit on femme vocal singing, and figuring that out. And my voice has changed a lot since last year, even for singing specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at some new tools to kind of help me like improve. I don't have very good projection, so improving that, improving a little bit of range, and improving like sustain, and then I can finally get into let's record the stuff, and I can feel good about it for once. Yeah,
That's exciting.
how about you?
I really want to go perform at an open mic night, play my guitar and sing a song. It's like a goal that I have. I just
love
need to get
that.
a song ready, one that I can sing and not be embarrassed about. And I need
That's
to pick
so
one.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's so exciting, and I understand like how nerve-wracking that could be, but that's so cool.
Yeah, it's just something that I want to do. So, but it's also something that I'm like a little bit scared and anxious about. So we'll see.
course.
Would you do an original song, or would you do a cover?
I would probably start with a cover and then do an original song.
What cover would you do?
That's
Do
what
you
I'm
know?
trying to decide.
I'm a big fan of Iris by Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, that's a good song, yeah. But then I
You
want to
should
sing
do
it
that- you
like
should do
the
that
guy.
one.
Because he has a great
Well,
voice.
He does, but I listened to that original version recently, because I have a metal cover version in my library, because I'm also trying to like make a femme acoustic version in my downtime, and I'm like, oh, his voice wasn't actually as. They didn't really auto tune back then either, so it's still you're like 80% vocal fry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Some
like
of that
it.
was just the style of the time,
That's true.
though. Like that's
It was
what
the style.
And
It's
I
very
wore
Nickelback-y.
and I wore a vocal fry, as was the style at the time.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm bad at voice training; it's intentionally this way.
Yes. I mean, yes.
I'd give up the world to see you. Wait, no, I'm thinking of his song from Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Did he do a song for Treasure Planet?
Yeah, you know the one that's
Yes.
like, and I'd give up the world to see you, but I don't think that they'd understand.
That's Iris.
That's Iris.
That's for City of Angels. That one was made for the movie City of Angels. I'm a movie snob.
I totally
Haven't seen the
got them
movie.
switched in my head.
Yeah, you were
Yeah,
saying
that's fine.
this, and I was like, Iris was the movie for Treasure Planet, or was the song for Treasure Planet.
Oh, God. I'm silly.
We all are. It's okay.
Great
Marcy,
song, great music. Good job, everybody. Okay, let's moving on.
Didn't you have a prompt? You had a prompt that you put in our group
I
chat.
did. I was going to
while
say,
ago.
what advice would you have given your younger self? Knowing what you know now, maybe you're in high school or college, maybe you're even younger than that.
Mm.
If you could go back and tell yourself some advice, some things that you know now, what would you say? Or do you think you're not wise enough to give your younger self any advice?
For me, I don't know if it's that I'm not wise enough, it's rather I wasn't in the place to hear advice, both
Mm-hmm.
like with who I was at the time and also the situation I would have been in. I know for myself, I mean, we all talk about how we wish we had transitioned younger, and like that's something I've heard out of pretty much every trans person I've ever met. It's just like, oh, I wish I had done this younger. For me, that would have created a pretty unsafe environment if I knew, like, if I had known who I was at the age of like 16, 17, that would have not have been a good thing for
Mm-hmm.
me. Like, ultimately, I think it was, which is horrible to say, but like just where I was at with everything, that would have been a bad thing for me to discover at that point. So, like, the advice for myself would just start being comfortable trying to branch out and do what feels good. And also, God, please, please leave your religion. Please, please. That,
In that vein, I would have told myself, don't be afraid to be wrong. I feel like
uh,
this is a conversation we might have had before, but it's interesting that the answers are a little bit different this time.
yeah.
It's interesting too that we've known each other through transition for this long at this point, and we've kind of all seen each other grow and get wiser and know more of what we want. It's
Yes.
really cool. Um, I think for me, outside of the whole "hey, you're a girl" type of thing, which would not have worked in the conservative areas I lived in, whether it was Georgia, Virginia, even the specific area of Minnesota I grew up most of my life. Um, if my egg had cracked back then, it would not have worked out. Would not have gone over well. Um, but I wish I could have said something like, "Hey, first of all, don't listen to your family. Your nose isn't that big.
Aww.
Don't let it ruin your life." Because I have dysmorphia about it, and it's great. But I'm starting to feel better about it because things have changed a lot. Even in the past year with my face structure, that I feel pretty good about it.
Estrogen is
Um,
cool.
Estrogen and progesterone keeps shrinking it a little bit. So, and I've grown into it more. Just turns out it fits a feminine face better than a masculine one.
Hey!
Um, hey, look at that.
Look at that.
How
Second
nice.
thing would be, hey, you seem like you're angry. Try to figure out why you're angry and look at those feelings and don't just shove them aside like you're being told to do by society,
Mhm.
and do something with it. Do
Mm-hmm.
something constructive with it. Don't just let it rot and fester inside you. Because I was a very angry person for a very long time.
Hmm.
And now I'm not anymore, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, it's nice.
I feel like almost every trans person goes through like repression of emotions that can manifest in like a varieties of ways. It can either manifest in anger. In
Oh,
my
yeah.
case, it manifested in very chronic depression. Um, in other people's cases, it can manifest in, you know, usually things that are pretty negative, substance abuse or something. Um, which is really part of why trans healthcare is very important.
Yes.
And also, just having the support of people in your life is probably more important than any of that. I think if I could give any advice to my younger self, it would be choose the friends that will actually support you instead of those who just say they do.
Hmm. Yeah. I know that that's something I hear a lot from people. I was pretty lucky. My friends, like my best friend, I've known since I think I was a sophomore in high school when we met. Um, and he's been my best friend through everything. And I was never a person that had just like a ton of friends. I had like a couple people I was really close with, and like that was good for me. And I never had to deal with the like really shitty friend arc. And I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. You're
friend's
lucky.
dope. Thank you, Ty. You're awesome. I don't think you listen to this, but thank you.
Hey,
You can just
same
clip
here.
that bit.
Shout out to
Yeah.
right. Same here. Shout out to Bennett, my best friend since middle school. He stuck with me through everything, and we would make silly little project videos for school together. And that's how I got into like a film school type of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to
Well,
make...
we're coming up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
Film projects were always really, really fun to make.
Yes.
I'd like to do some more of those.
Mm-hmm. I was a journalism major in college, as we've talked about here, and I took some creative filmmaking classes because that's where like my true love was being like behind the camera and writing out those stories, and yeah, shit's fun.
Shit's fun.
Just coming up with random stories and then like actualizing them it's really cool to like have a conversation with a couple people, you guys figure it out, and then a couple days later, because like one time we did a 48-hour film festival, so like you're given a prompt and then within 48 hours you had to write the script, film it, edit it, and submit it. And that was so cool to be like, to not know anything, and then 48 hours later we had this completed thing that we put in.
That's very
it's cool.
cool.
I tried to do something like this 48-hour weekend marathon thing like a year or two ago, and I was like, I'm too old for this. I was exhausted.
Yeah, I couldn't do that now.
I was like, oh my gosh, these kids are running on fumes and I need a nap. I had to take a nap in this middle of the day.
Yeah, that was for 21-year-old me, not 29-year-old me.
Yeah.
Almost
We
30.
did this thing in my college where we all had like we had a group of like 3 people, and we had to like think of a story together, film it, but then every single person would edit it on their own. It was really fun to see how dramatically different things became as like editing was different between every single person, and they would choose their own like background music, they choose their own pacing, and what shots they actually kept that we took. We took like, multiple different takes of things, and they're just all dramatically different. It was really cool to see that. So it's not just the film, it's the filming, it's and the composition, it's the editing too, and the post-production stuff, which is part of what I was trying to go to school for, and that ended up, going into tech instead, because there ain't no money in non-union post-production work.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Okay.
Now we can outro.
Now we can do an outro. Hi, everybody. You can follow me at Instagram at Onomarsha, OHNOMARCIA. I post updates about my life, and if I do anything cool, I'll put it on there. If there's anything fun that I end up doing lately, we'll see.
And as usual, you can find me on Twitter at Sapphic Celeste. If you all are so inclined, I have pinned to my top an Amazon wish list of things that I need for surgery. If you are so inclined to help me provide, shit is expensive to buy things. And also, I'll be out of work and making 50% of my paycheck for the next 2 to 3 months after surgery. So, anything is helpful. But don't feel pressure to do it. I'm not going to like completely collapse without things, but God, it would make things a lot easier. And you can also find me on Instagram at tato.chips with a Z. It's TAYTO.CHIPZ. That's everything. That's all my stuff. Thanks.
Buy Celeste everything, or else. That's
okay.
a threat from Riv, not from Celeste. Hey, it's your girl Riv. I'm on all of the different social media at Cupcake Hellsword with a single L, because that's the Norse way.
The cool way.
You can also go to burytheriver.com, because Bury the River is my recording artist name for my metalcore stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. And buy Celeste all the things on her wish list, like you did for me when it was my turn to have bottom surgery. People want me lots of stuff, and it was great. It really helped a lot. So please do the same, Celeste. I'm gonna spam, retweet, reblog, repost.
Thank you. I did post that on Threads as well. I forget to open Threads, but
I forget Threads exists.
The same post is on Threads too, but like,
okay,
I never use it.
I'm gonna spam it.
Thank you. You're the best.
Yeah,
spam it.
I also have a link tree in all my bios if you just want to give me money, because money helps for the same things.
I had a link tree, but I think it broke. Maybe I should fix that. Sorry. Yes, buy Celeste all the things. Buy.
Buy or like
Bye.
buy.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
We're getting into NSYNC territory here.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Or was that Backstreet Boys? I get them confused.
Bye.
See, now you have me second guessing myself.
Right? Because it's going to be May is definitely NSYNC, because JT.
Everybody's going to be yelling at us for this.
Wow.
What band was JT
That'll
in?
make it even more fun.
NSYNC?
NSYNC.
Okay.
Yeah.
What band was Last Land Space from?
It was NSYNC. It was NSYNC. We're good.
Okay.
We're fine.
Lance Bass was from Backstreet Boys. Pretty sure.
Lance Bass.
Why do I
Not
know
Lance
this
Bass.
still?
You're impressive.
I don't know.
Your esoteric
Was
knowledge
NSYNC.
of boy bands
Was
from the
NSYNC.
90s is
It's
impressive.
the ADHD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very attractive.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either.
Your ability
For other
to
reasons.
understand trivia that we will not show up in trivia night is very useful.
So bye. Are we saying bye? Is that what's happening?
I think so. I think we're bye.
No, we're buying Celeste's
bye.
things.
Oh, okay. I got confused.
I'm still confused.
I mean, we did do the outros.
I thought this was like a double entendre.
Okay.
We did the outro.
Should we have a second outro
gonna be like
for
the
the
bonus content at the
for
end?
the second episode?
Oh, we probably should.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, you can follow me at onomarsha at instagram.com.
That was a really weird way of saying that. I am Sapphic Celeste on Twitter. Find me there. Buy me things. By the time this comes out, I may be undergoing surgery, perhaps. It'll be very close. So give me money and send me all your good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I do be loving the good vibes.
Cast
too.
a protective spell.
Yes.
Send a prayer.
There you go.
I'll accept any and all of it, you know.
Yeah, but mostly money, because that does more than prayers.
But
Sorry.
yeah, mostly money or wish list things.
In this
please.
economy, prayers in this economy.
I can't buy dilators on prayers.
I'll pray to
That's
the
true.
dilator
Sorry.
goddess.
Yeah,
She responds with cash.
Hell yeah.
cash money.
My kind of lady. Yeah, follow me, Sapphic Celeste. I'm on Instagram, Tato Chips, TAYTO.CHIPZ. Yeah. That's all my stuff.
Good job.
Thank you.
Hey, come in close,
Hi.
children. Hi, children. Gather round. It's
Hi,
your girl,
Mommy.
Riv.
Are you gonna read us
no,
a
we're not doing that.
No.
We're not doing that.
I would love a story.
I'm pulling the ripcord. It's your girl, Riv, trying to do an outro. I am Cupcake Hellsword with a single L on all of the different social media thingies. We have a wonderful Discord server. Come join our Discord server, especially if you are trans. You don't have to be, but it certainly fucking helps.
Yeah.
So you know what's going on.
Come join our Discord server. I'm mostly never there. I'm sorry, but you can ping me. You can always ping me, and I'll show up.
You can ping Celeste, and she'll show up the next day if she's not in surgery.
If you ping me, I'll show up, but I never show up otherwise.
I'm not calling anyone out, but yeah. It's fine.
I set up the Discord. You're the one who actually makes it run.
That's fair.
One of those is
That's
a lot
fair.
more work than the other, though.
They do call me server mom. At this point, sorry I stole that from you.
No,
like you wanted it to begin with.
I'm proud of you.
Okay, back on the outro.
Is Marcy server grandmom then?
I'm like the.
No, she's Auntie Christ.
I'm the server. I'm the server mommy. Or I mean, I'm the server.
Serve auntie.
I'm the server sugar mommy.
Anyway, burytheriver.com for my music.
This is such an unhinged outro. What are we doing?
Cupcake Hellsword with a single L for all the other social media stuff, shenanigans, including Discord. I will see you there. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I'm not your mom unless you're on the server. Then I'm your server mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. We love you.
Bye.